I think as Mike said, we've got about 30 slides, probably too many slides to really tell the story, but I'll try to get through them quickly because I think it's the Q&A that's been the most valuable. The process that we used it at Sparrows, we're using it here, we're also using it at S-Mark, as we had an early on meeting before the purchase of the company and then a series of employee meetings afterwards in order to try to give you as much as we possibly can the vision of where we want the company to go. Let me just start by saying, you look right up in here, this is approximately what the new logo of the company will look like. And I have to say approximately because there are certain technical issues still as to color, position, location, shape, etc. that are being worked on, but approximately. And we were talking this morning about the fact that there are some signs within the Warren plant that are in locations that might cost, well, almost an infinite amount of money to change. So I'm not exactly sure how we'll handle that. Some people suggested paintball guns, others suggested just leave them alone. So I think all meetings like this need to start with a thank you. We need to thank and recognize and appreciate the people that got us to this point, and we certainly would not be here if it were not for the USW leadership, both the Pittsburgh guys as well as the local guys and gals. So thank you. To the plant leadership for its help, to the people at SNA and Dearborn specifically that worked absolutely tirelessly for hours and hours and hours and hours to get to this point, to all the professionals, and there were a lot of accountants and lawyers behind the scenes that got us to this point, and really to Alexei Mordashov, the CEO of OAO Severstal, for his confidence. And we were just telling Mike this morning, I think we have a date somewhere first 2 weeks of October when Alexei will be here. So you'll probably get a chance to see the guy himself. A little bit of background. The company was founded in 1952 as the Cherpovitz Iron and Steel Company. It's listed on the London Stock Exchange. It has 5 outside directors and 5 inside directors. None of the outside directors are Russian. All of the inside directors are Russian. The chairman is a Brit. His name is Chris Clark. And as you know by now, Alexei Mordashov is the CEO. We're somewhere around a $23 to $25 billion market cap, 15 billion in sales last year. That number will be approaching 19 this year. And that 20 million tons keeps growing. I think we're upwards of 25 at this point. Concentration on value-added products, 100,000 employees. Here's the structure. The structure, the parent company, is OAO Severstal. That's kind of a funky color, isn't it? Maybe we should turn. Is it bright enough in the back, or do we need to turn some of the lights off? Yeah, maybe turn some of the lights off. So you can see here's where and how it all fits. We come under the Severstal International Group, and Severstal International holds Lucchini in Italy and in France, and holds Severcor, whose name is about to change to Severstal Columbus. The other 2 sister companies of International are Russian Steel, and that's located in Cherpovitz and in St. Petersburg, and Resource, which is the mining division, and we mine coal, iron ore, and gold. And so you can see right now, Sparrows Point, Dearborn, Warren, and on August the 4th, the 4th arm of this will be added, and that's when we put S-Mark on this chart. The company is really located, and the headquarters of the company is where the company was founded in Cherpovitz, from Cherpovitz Iron and Steel, and International is in Moscow. You can see the locations. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this. Let me just say one thing. If we put dots on here for all the subsidiary companies, all the daughter companies, all the joint ventures, there would be 200 dots on here. So it's a pretty substantial company in terms of all the locations. Products and applications, as you can see, on the Russian steel side, we have a pretty wide range of products. And we're making steel for the auto industry, for appliance, for motors, for oil and gas. We make 56-inch diameter pipe for into the North Sea and into the Arctic for bringing oil and gas out. And it's, as you can imagine, pretty severe application steel. In Europe, we have a range of products, and one of the more interesting ones is rail, because we make rail for the bullet trains. So it's the 100-meter long rail that is longer than a football field. And obviously, you already know what we make in North America. We've been asked, I think, oftentimes since this Russian company, dating back to communism, what has allowed it to become successful? And I think the general sense is that in Russia we went from an entitlement society to an empowerment society. And this really happened for Severstal in the mid-90s when they brought McKinsey in to introduce Japanese management styles to the company. And so I think we would probably say we agree with this. This is really what happened in Dearborn, and it happened as a result of the bankruptcy. And certainly, from the Sparrow standpoint and the things that they've gone through, and maybe you even feel the same way here, that really to be competitive, it's going to have to be an empowerment and whereby we're in control of our own future. So here's the other members of our family: Severcorp, soon to be Severstal Columbus, located in Columbus, Mississippi, the only EAF plant, continuous strip plant in the world designed to make automotive steels. It's 72 inches wide. It's got a continuous pickle tandem. It's got a brand new exposed hot dip galvanized line. Phase 2 is underway. Phase 2 will increase the capacity to 3 million tons. So their products will be hot roll, cold roll, hot dip galvanized, galvanneal. And their Mexicos are southern United States as well as Mexico. Dearborn, probably know about Dearborn, founded as the Ford Motor Company Steel Division, became Rouge Steel in 1982, and became Severstal North America, Inc. in January of 2004. We are in Dearborn TS, ISO, OHSS 18001, and SOX 4 certified. Auto customers, this is something I think people don't realize, that as a result of becoming part of Severstal, we now are able to sell steel to people beyond Ford, GM, and Chrysler. So we now have Toyota, BMW, Suzuki, Mazda, Mercedes, and Mitsubishi. So probably the only big name on here that we don't have as of yet is Honda. And I think Honda was a little bit hung up on, well, how are you going to handle the 72 wide? They just didn't understand what our path was to be able to get the 72 wide. And now we have that solution with the wide wheeling hot rod. 2,100 employees. This slide really is meant to do nothing more than tell you about the commitment of the company. Severstal bought Rouge Steel. They basically committed about $250, $300 million of capital. And as you can see from the things that are on here, from Mountain State Carbon to a new C blast furnace to a new B blast furnace that we just signed the agreement on a couple of days ago and placed the purchase order, to a continuous pickle tandem, to a new hot dip line. Instead of $300 million, we're spending $1.2 billion in Dearborn. So, when the company makes a commitment to do something, it not only does it, it generally does more than what it commits to do. So one of the things that's been occurring is in Europe, the analysts are asking in Europe of Severstal, well, why are you buying all these American assets? America's dead and gone. It just isn't buried yet. People just don't understand the country is done. China and Russia and Brazil, those are the up-and-coming places. India, you're wasting money in the United States. And obviously, Severstal, by the time we finish the purchase of S-Mark and these modernization programs, we've committed in excess of $6 billion. And the company doesn't feel that way. The company feels very strongly that the country still has a great future, that there are great people here. So why Warren? What was the motivation? Well, I think when the steel workers, and that's actually how we learned that Warren might be available. The steel workers told us, and we said, based on our Sparrows experience, we need to get to Warren, because it's not about descriptions people give you of the plant and equipment, it's about the people. So we came to Warren and we spent a day and we did go through the plant and we shook a lot of hands and met a lot of people and asked a lot of questions and we liked the